Gotta get out of my bed. Gotta stop worrying about all my problems and focus on finding solutions instead. Change up the vision. Been on a mission to count on my blessings instead of my bread. I've been addicted to better in every component I know I control before I'm dead. Finally figure I've been that. If I'm talking, I'm making an impact. If it's hate on the way, then I skip that. If I said it, you know that I meant that. And in fact, I won't be throwing no stones, rather be setting the tone. Oh man, I gotta get it, I'm grown, even if it's on my own. Oh man, enemies trying to get rid of me, tendencies that'll turn kin to the enemy. Pretend to be with the team, here's my remedy. Focus on me and the things God getting me. With these seeds planted, grow my entities, been going hard. The intensity, how that work out, splendidly. Focus on me and the things God getting me.
Of course I was muted. I'm talking and I was muted. What up, G Major? How you doing? Appreciate all you guys coming in here. Just thought I'd do a little quick stream before I head out. Today is the birthday, so I will be going out to eat. And then later on, we'll be coming back on here to do the From stuff later on tonight. So make sure to check that out. Yeah, unfortunately, G Major, I pulled a JJ. I was muted, but hey, I'm here to talk about this Supergirl movie today real quick, just to give my reviews and spoiler reviews for it. So if you haven't seen it, you might want to skip off on this one and watch it later. But if you don't care about spoilers, then thanks, G Major, appreciate it. All right, so let me just get this out the way real quick. And I know Danny gonna talk about Darth Kaka or whatever, but this movie was garbage. Okay, Supergirl was absolute trash. Yeah, that's right. I said it. 100% absolute trash. I wanted to like this movie. I thought it was going to be good. I was hoping it was going to be at least on the levels of Superman, right? Especially for the fact that, Brian and all those guys talk about how this Woman of Tomorrow comic book is one of the best Supergirl comic books they ever read. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm down for it. The first half of the movie, for the first hour, I was bored as shit. Okay? I was like, what the fuck? This is... So, first off, you see when they dropped the trailer, right? They dropped that little beginning trailer with Crypto and he pees on the paper. That's the whole beginning of the movie. So once you see that trailer, you've seen the whole beginning of the movie, right? It goes a little bit extended to that, but that's the whole point of the movie. It felt... saying it felt like Guardians of the Galaxy isn't a bad thing, but it also felt like a real cheap version of Guardians of the Galaxy, especially 3, right? Guardians of the Galaxy 3, we know what happened. Rocket gets hurt, and then they go to try and save Rocket. Same kind of concept in this. Crypto gets hurt. Supergirl wants to go and get the antidote to help her dog, all right? Emotional stuff to try to get you with the dog. I get it, 100%. It's fine. I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't have a problem with the actress, Millie Alcock. I think she was great as Supergirl. She did a good job. I'm not going to lie. I had no problems with her, but I never had no problems with her from the trailer or the casting or anything. A lot of these clowns out there that never don't get no pussy running around here talking about how she's ugly and making all kinds of memes about her and shit. And I personally don't think she's ugly. I think she looks damn good, to be honest with you. Eli said, you just parroted what I said to Chris Knight about Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket Raccoon Part 2. Yeah, pretty much that's what it basically felt like to me, Eli. Like I said, copying Guardians of the Galaxy isn't a bad thing. All right, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2 was okay, but 1 and 3 are great movies. I love Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So there was no reason for me to think that I wasn't going to like this movie. But it's slow. The pacing is just off, right? I just found for the first half okay, so we all know Supergirl, she goes to this planet with a red sun to get drunk, right? Now, I don't know, but when Clark Kent is not Superman, he gets his ass whooped. For some reason, Kara was able to beat people's ass. Like, there's an alien that she's fighting, and she's literally able to beat his ass. And I was like, with no powers? Now, someone please tell me, maybe she has some sort of powers or something, but I know the Red Sun, she has no powers. And I heard somewhere in a video where it says, like, she has her powers, but they're toned down. Like, she's not as powerful, but she still has some powers. Well, it looked to me like she had none. But she was kicking this alien's ass. She did this thing where she did a swing, kicked it off of its horse or whatever the hell creature it was on, and was able to block its shots. And with her, it was just like, what am I doing here? I want to watch it. All right? So fine. Get the little girl, her family gets killed. Again, guys, it's spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, you might not want to listen. But her family gets killed, and she's on this revenge tip, right? She's on this revenge. And I'm just going to get this out the way real quick, right? She's on this revenge tip. Kara is telling her throughout the whole fucking movie that revenge isn't the way. Revenge isn't the way. You don't want to kill her. No, we're not going to kill anybody. And then what the fuck does she do? She kills the dude at the end? I was like, wait a minute. You pitching this message throughout the whole movie about not killing, and then you kill the dude? She's like, oh, this is for crypto. She stabs him. And she's like, oh, and then this is for the girl's family. And then stabs him in the throat and kills him. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Supergirl and Superman are not supposed to kill, right? People complained about Superman breaking Zod's neck in fucking Man of Steel, right? Complain. Oh, Superman not supposed to kill. He could have found another way. Do this, do that. And James Gunn did the same. And okay, so first off, it's not James Gunn. It's not James Gunn who wrote or directed this movie. So I gotta keep that in mind. It's just the problem is this movie felt like James Gunn's movie. It felt like and I can't remember the director and writer's name. Forgive me for that. I can't remember her name. But it felt like she was trying to emulate James Gunn and his movies to the point where they even had the fucking fight scene montage to music like James Gunn likes to do in his movies. And I'm sorry, but that shit is so fucking played out for me now. I am so tired of it. It does it in Guardian Galaxy 1, does it in 2, does it in 3, does it in Superman, does it in this. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, this montage with and the song wasn't even good. Like, the song they put to it wasn't even good. Mr. Terrific, at least he had a good song to it, but at the same time, I'm just like, are we going to do this in every James Gunn movie? People complain, right, about fucking Zack Snyder with his slow motion constantly in all of his slow motion movies, but nobody's complaining about seeing this fucking musical montage in every single James Gunn movie? I don't like it anymore. I'm really sick of it. James Gunn stopped doing the fucking musical montage, right? And James Gunn is a music guy, right? Like, he always says, oh, I love music and this and that. That's why he likes to, like, his soundtracks are damn good for most of his movies. This one, not so much. What's up, Tamika? How you doing? Thank you for popping in. This one, not so much, right? The music wasn't that great in this movie. But James Gunn usually has great soundtracks for his movies. And again, sorry, this is not James Gunn movie. I keep saying that. I keep saying James Gunn. I know it's not his movie, so you don't have to correct me if you watch this over again. Say, hey, it's not James Gunn movie. I know. But James Gunn literally, and whether you say he doesn't or not, I believe he had his fingers all over this fucking movie. Because it felt exactly like his movie. Eli said, we didn't get a regeneration from Lobo, otherwise he's just a tough bounty killer guy. So I'm going to get into Lobo real quick. Hey, D'Amica, how you doing? He said they changed Lobo's necklace. He now has a grenade and not a red lantern ring. Oh, interesting. I didn't notice that. You know, I always thought he had I always thought he had a skull as his chain. I always thought it was one of those chains. So I didn't really. That didn't bother me. Didn't bother me. Lobo was good in the movie. Haven't watched this yet. I'll wait for streaming. Yes, Tamika, 100% wait for streaming. It's not worth going to pay for. It's really not. At least in my opinion, anyways. Right? We already know how everybody says I have the worst take. Well, Danny has the worst takes on YouTube, but I'm Darth Kaka, so we in the same boat, right? So I guess you know. You want to see it? I'm not going to tell anybody not to go see it, to go make their own decisions and choices to go watch this movie. That's fine if you want to go do it. Just personally, I would say wait for streaming. Wait for streaming. I went fan night, Wednesday night, right? A lot of people was in there. I'm not going to lie. My theater was pretty packed. So I was like, okay, Supergirl's probably going to do well. And you look at the numbers that it made for Thursday, and it was only like, what, between Thursday and Wednesday, like 7.5 million, something like that. Those aren't good numbers. James Gunn's reign in the DC universe is in trouble if this movie doesn't make money. Because then he has Man of Steel coming up. Oh, I'm sorry, Man of Tomorrow coming up. And if that's another flop, I don't see Paramount going forward with him. Or whoever's buying it, Paramount, whoever, whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, Paramount buying it. Paramount buying Brother Brothers. So yeah, I don't see them continuing with James Gunn the universe. I was really thinking James Gunn was going to be able to pull this off. Even when he announced his lineup, it's like, okay, this is a weird lineup, but okay, let's see what you do. I was excited to see what James Gunn could do, and so far, it's duds. People like Superman. I like Superman, but a lot of people don't like Superman, right? And you got to understand, when you have Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, you have to make sure that any movie you make is better than that, or else people are going to complain, right? Especially with what happened to Zack Snyder. People are going to complain, they're going to be mad, and then they're going to look at your movies, and because the Snyder fans are extremely happy that this movie is getting the bad reviews it's getting. Now, on Rotten Tomatoes, I see that the audience score was about 77%. I don't see it, but okay. But the critic score is way lower. Man of Tomorrow, Lex, Superman, Supergirl, Hal Jordan. Yeah, Creatures Commandos, right? No Wonder Woman. No Batman. Like, what are we doing here? And I think it's because James Gunn likes the Super family more than he likes the Bat family, right? But was Supergirl the right movie to come out right after Man of Steel? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And so from what I'm hearing is like he read the script for this and loved it, and that's why he brushed it out there now. He's like, oh, the script is great. People are gonna love this movie. I never read the comic book, but I know fans of that comic book are extremely upset with this movie. I'll give you my rating for it at the end. Eli, what was your rating for it? What did you give this movie? I mean, did you even like it? Curious to know that, because Chris been telling us about this movie he's seen it real early, and he's, of course, Chris, I get to see these movies early and blah, 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 and gets to go to all these damn screenings or whatever. So Chris was able to see it, and he was pretty much telling us how bad this movie is. 6.4 out of 10, really? Shit. I can't give it that high. What up, LDG? What's going on? I can't give it that high. When I first messaged Donnie, he said he gave it a 3.5. I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a 3.5 because of Lobo, right? And then he was like, oh, I thought about it, and I think it's better than Superman. No, the fuck it's not. This movie is not better than Superman. it's just not better than Superman. Superman is 10 times better than this movie, right? You had characters in Superman and the characters in the Superman and Supergirl were good. Lobo was good. Millie Alcock was good. Little girl was a little annoying, but I was fine with her, right? But you had characters in the Superman movie that I liked a lot better. Mr. Terrific, the Lanterns, right? Even though they didn't do much, I still think they were better characters than what we got in. The villain in this movie is fucking garbage. He is garbage. I think a Robin movie would have done better. A Batman movie, a Robin movie, yes, they would have done better. Just some geeky guy sent a $2 super chat. He said, this film was painfully average, 5 out of 10. You guys are giving it higher marks than I can. Because to me, it's not just average. It's below average, right? So, they take Supergirl, right? Because she's looking for the killer. I can't remember his name. That's how unmemorable the bad guy is, right? So, okay, so first off, let me tell you guys how we get there. She gets to the planet, right? And she's asking these bartenders, have you guys seen so-and-so, blah, 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 right? Lobo comes in, they have a little thing with Lobo, conversation with Lobo. That scene was pretty funny because the little girl's like, hey, and then she's giving her pitch like, he killed my father, and Supergirl's in the background and she's doing the same thing. So I kind of like that part. That was kind of funny, right? Anyways, they tell her, come to our house after, right? She goes outside, and she sees the black guy talking to a creature, right? And she gives a look like, something's up. She gets to the house. They offer her a drink. She drinks the drink, which is poisoned in it, right? It has poison in it. Now, remember, she's on the sun. She's in the yellow sun area, right? She's not in the red sun. Tell me why the poison affected her. It's Supergirl. Why the fuck did the poison affect her? I'm like, wait a minute. You're like, it didn't. Okay, so it didn't make her like knockout or whatever. But she knew she was poisoned, and she was trying to throw it up, and she was like moving around like she was getting dizzy and stuff like that. And I'm like, you're Supergirl. Why is that poison affecting you? Right? So you should have known first off when the guy was fucking talking to the creature that something was up. But of course, she didn't know that, right? She takes the poison, right? She has a fight scene. Someone kicks her in the stomach. She throws up. She says, oh, thank you, right? That fight scene is over. She goes to the creature that they were talking to before they poisoned her. Says, hey, where is he? I want to know where he is. She says, okay, I can take you there, but I got to put a bag over your head first, right? Doesn't Supergirl have X-ray visions? Can't she see through things? So what the fuck would the bag do? Anyways, they take her to a planet. The planet has a green sun. All right? Now, they say this is in the comic. In the comic, the planet has a green sun, right? The planet has a green sun. It's fine, whatever. Something they did in the comic. But not only does it have a green sun, it has a yellow sun. So she says this planet is for her prison. The green sun goes up, right? She gets there, the green sun, she passes out, right? You can see the kryptonite poisoning happening. Then the green sun goes down, and the yellow sun comes up, and she gets her powers and flies off the planet like it's nothing. I was like, what the fuck? Why the fuck would you put her on a planet with a green sun that has a fucking yellow sun too? It made no sense. Made no sense to me. Now, they said it was done a lot better in the comic book. And again, I didn't read the comic book, but I heard that, the girl had to protect her while she was on the planet. There were dinosaurs and everything, which would have been a lot cool. Didn't do none of that. The bad guy was emulating Cora Norrick on Stargate, always eating something. I never watched Stargate, so I couldn't tell you. What's up, the analyst? She said, was she drunk? No, no, because by this time she had done, um, went to a yellow sun, got her powers back and everything. Binary star system, although there is no green star in reality. Yeah, I know. That was a plot hole in the shitty comic too. Yeah, but in the comic book, they didn't have the yellow sun though. From what I heard from people who were talking about the movie, they didn't have the yellow sun. It was just a green sun. So having the yellow sun was an extremely stupid plot hole. You're taking her to a planet because you want to get rid of her, but you take her to a planet. Now you can say, oh, well, they didn't know that the yellow sun gave her powers. Then how the fuck did you know the green sun took away her powers? And how come everybody knows what kryptonite is so far? Right? Everybody knows kryptonite hurts them. Dude has a kryptonite arrow. Doesn't sound like Supergirl is shaping up to be a good film. Honestly, the analyst, it's not. In my opinion, it's not a good film. It's not. I was looking for a lot more with this movie, and it just wasn't. I thought even the chemistry between the little girl and Supergirl would have been a lot better, and it really wasn't. It really wasn't. The chemistry wasn't that good. Lobo is the best part of the movie, right? If you're gonna go watch the movie, you're watching it for Lobo, and Lobo's in the movie for like maximum 10 minutes, right? Has a couple of fight scenes in it. Pretty cool. And so you guys see in the trailer, right? Where they have all the infrared guns on her, and they're like, oh, this is not going to work out well for you guys. She tells the girl to go sit down, right? She says, go sit down over there. The girl goes sit down, and that's how we see the fucking fight. Like, from you see blurry background, Supergirl fighting, and you're seeing the girls just sitting there. I was like, what do we do? What? Why am I watching this? You can't even see what's going on with the fights, right? A lot of the planets look gringy and dark, and a lot of the fight scenes were extremely hard to see, even in IMAX. They were hard to see. And I don't know if it was because the CGI was bad and they were trying to hide it, but yeah, there were some CGI moments that were really bad. Said Corn Sweat's cameo of Superman was great too. His cameo was good. His cameo was good, but I mean, I was expecting to see him in there anyways, Still don't know if Kryptonians can be powerful on Earth when we have a white star, not yellow. The cinematography was awful. 100% geeky guy. Awful, awful, awful. And like I said earlier, I think the director, she was trying to emulate James Gunn and what he does in his movies. Now, I don't know, again, if James Gunn's had his fingers all over this movie, but it fucking felt like it. It felt like James Gunn had his fingers all over this movie. I just... And I'm sitting here and I'm like, we got Man of Tomorrow coming up. Screenshots look great. Seeing Lex in his mech suit, I'm down for that. But if it doesn't perform, you're going to have the first 3 movies that don't make 500 million, because I don't think Superman hit 500 million, right? Let me check the box office for Superman, because I don't think it hit 500 million for James Gunn's box out. Superman? Okay, it did. So it made a total of 618 million worldwide. Okay. Still, on a budget that was 225 million, that's not good. That's not good. I don't think Supergirl gets even close to that number. I really don't. If Man of Tomorrow underperforms, then Gunn can kiss that CEO seat goodbye. And you would just love that, wouldn't you, geeky guy? Huh? You love it. You love it. He said it didn't. No, it did. It did. It made 618 million. So that's... I was telling these guys on the chaos list, makes over 500 movies. It's a blockbuster. It's just not a profitable blockbuster, right? Because it didn't make a profit. But 600 million is a lot of money to make, regardless. I know we always talk about, will it make a billion? Is it going to make a billion, right? But a billion is not a realistic number for a lot of these movies that we putting billion on, right? We put the $1 billion on Michael because it was Michael Jackson, and I knew that Michael Jackson was going to be international. It's Michael. But when we get to these superhero movies, we're always expecting them $1 billion, $1 billion, $1 billion. Spider-Man, 100% possibly going to make $1 billion. Doomsday, possibly going to make $1 billion, 100%. But then they come up with a solo movie, and we expect it to make $1 billion because Marvel is making $1 billion movies, and that's not the case. It's not going to happen. It's very hard for these movies to make $1 billion in the box office. It is not easy. But yet we use that as the barometer of whether a movie is great or not, and that's the problem, you know. Vomiting wouldn't help if it's in your blood system already. Exactly, Eli. But it should have never affected her in the first place. The blood should have never affected her in the first place. It's very hard for any movie to make $1 billion. Absolutely. Somebody lied and told James Gunn he was talented. James Gunn is talented. I don't hate on James Gunn, right? I wanted James Gunn's DC Cinematic Universe to succeed. I really did. I thought James Gunn, I don't know if he was the perfect choice for it, but I thought he would definitely do a good job, right? You have Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, and 3. 2 isn't that good, but 1 and 3 are really good. So I had faith in James Gunn, right? Superman, it's not great, but it's good. I definitely liked Superman, right? There was a lot of things in Superman that I thought were good. Mr. Terrific was good. Corn Sweat playing Superman is a good choice for Superman. I wasn't too fond of the I guess I'm gonna say Bizarro Superman, but the Superman from that Lex created, wasn't too fond of that. But Lex Luthor was great. The casting in Superman was absolutely great, so I enjoyed that. Listen, Kat, will you go do something? Right? So he said, Anzo, I rewatched Superman 2000 film to get a taste of this out of my mouth. Yeah, I don't blame you, geeky guy, because that Superman was good. I know you don't like it, but it was good. Anzo, stop showing your pussy on screen. Yeah, well, unfortunately, this cat likes to come over here when I start doing my streams for some reason. So, but, yeah, so, again, and you're right, Eli. So, kicking it wouldn't have made her throw up, wouldn't have done anything with the poison, but the poison shouldn't have affected her at all because she was in the vicinity, or she was in a universe with a yellow sun. So the poison should not have no effect on her whatsoever, you know. He said, I actually liked Gun Superman. You know this. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. Hey, as long as I don't have to hear I am Groot, I am fine. Oh, you may not have to hear you're a Groot, but Seth, whatever the guy's name is, Seth Rogen, he's in the movie. And I'm kidding you, when that thing turned around, I was like, what are we doing, Babu Frick? Babu Frick is in this movie? You know what I mean? And then they tried to make this little joke out of it, and it just didn't work with me. A lot of the jokes didn't hit. I didn't think it was funny at all. Like my theater, the people in my theater didn't even laugh either. Like they didn't find half of the things funny. Rogan was uncredited. Yeah, I heard that. I heard he's not even in the credits, you know. No end credit scene. So don't stay expecting to see an end credit scene because there is none, which I think is a disservice. But I can understand he probably doesn't want to be like Marvel. And what I'm hearing is when Kara goes back to Earth and she's talking to Superman, they said that was supposed to be an end credit scene, but they ended up putting it into the movie. The movie's runtime is approximately, I would say, about an hour 45, hour 50 minutes, which is decent. Because if it was any longer, and if Lobo wasn't in it, we got this scene where, of course, the bad guy takes her ship because when she went to go kill the girl's family, the little girl's family, she killed off the whole family, right? They blew up her ship. They blew up his ship. So he was stuck on the planet. He ends up stealing Supergirl's ship, conveniently, Supergirl's ship, right? So they have to take this bus, spaceship bus. And they get on the bus, and there's a bunch of aliens and everything there. And then these pirates just come out of nowhere and like, oh, we're going to rob the bus. So they start robbing everybody. And Supergirl takes one of their teleporting devices or whatever, and she's fighting them. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, why does she need her powers then? Right? Y'all remember Superman when he lost his powers and he went to the bar? That dude fucked him up. Like, beat the shit out of him. But yet, she is capable of fighting and doing all kinds of stuff without her powers. Right? She's like, oh, how far are we from a yellow sun? And then she looks outside into space, and she's like, it's just like coming up from the horizon from a planet. So she gets on her suit, tries to go out there, and the pirates eject her into space. And as she's in space, the sun comes up, and she gets her powers, which I thought was cool. But the CGI when she was getting ejected into space looked fucking horrible. I was like, wait a minute. And then she's flying around in space, and there were some scenes it just didn't look good. Did not look good at all. I wanted more from this movie. I think it drags on. You get a fight scene, then it drags on a little bit more, then you get a fight scene. Okay. So the little girl, and please forgive me because I don't know her name in the movie. I can't remember her name because this movie was just unforgettable for me. So I can't remember her name. But when she first gets to the planet, she's looking for someone to help her kill her parents. This creature comes up to her and just grabs her sword from her and takes it. Boom. Right? Just takes it from her. That's when Supergirl has to get involved, and she ends up fighting the creature to get the sword back for her. So it obviously seemed like, she's a pushover. Well, when they send Supergirl to the green planet, she's going to look for water, and she sees that Craig or whatever. I think his name is Craig Krull or something like that. The bad guy's there. They take her. They lock her up in the ship, in the jail cell, and Lobo's locked up in the cell. They don't tell us how. They don't tell us why. Well, Lobo's locked up in the cell too. Right? Now you would think it would be Lobo that would be the one to get them out of there. But no. She does this. Oh, no, please take me to him. I'm so worried. Like, she gives the tears and everything. And, of course, the guard opens up the door, and has her hands chained. So she jumps on his back, and she chokes the shit out of him to get out. And I was like, where the fuck did this come from? If you could do all of that, why did you just let the fucking creature take your sword from you like it was nothing? Said question, what was better, Supergirl or Madam Web? Oh, Supergirl, bro. There's no doubt about it. Supergirl better than the Batman? Oh my God, the analyst, you're really trying to get me. You know what? You're not getting me. You're not going to get me. Yes, Supergirl is better than the Batman. All right? Fuck it. I said it. As much as I don't like this movie, I hate the Batman even more. So yes, it is better. All right? It is better. Robert Pattinson is trash as Batman. All right? He is garbage. At least Kara was good. But this movie has so many plot holes in it. I don't understand what James Gunn was reading and saying this is a great script. I don't get it. The villain is bland. He's lame, right? Lobo is not really an anti-hero, because Lobo's on his mission, right? Lobo is, fortunately for Supergirl, is that his bounty is someone in the guy's army that he's looking for. Not the guy, but someone in his army. You know what I mean? So that's why he's in some of these battles. That's why he's in some of the fights, because he's trying to get his bounty, which he does get. Gets his bounty. He was great. I think Jason Momoa was actually meant to play Lobo. There's no doubt about that. He was good as Lobo. I think that was his calling. And when I was talking to Danny, he was like, Lobo should get his solo movie. Yeah, but I don't know how long James Gunn is going to be doing this, really and truly, or how long they're going to accept this from him. Because you have the blueprint: Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. The first 3 movies that should come out are those 3 movies. There is no doubt about it. If you don't want to do a solo Flash movie, if you don't want to do a solo Green Lantern then you can do what you did with Superman and have them sprinkled in there, right? So instead of having Guy Gardner in there, maybe you should have had Jon Stewart. Right? Introduce him into that. The same way you did with Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific was great. Now I think people want to see a Mr. Terrific TV show or series because of this movie, which is what you should have done. But you have Guy Gardner in there to, what? Not do anything with him going forward? Because we already know he's not going to be. We have the Lanterns coming out with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Hal Jordan's probably going to die. Maybe not in the first season, but if they're in this series, or maybe he does die in that one. Who knows? How are we doing with Guy Gardner? So happy birthday. Thank you, Lawrence. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Definitely we'll be back on later on tonight to watch From and celebrate a little bit more. But I just wanted to come in here and talk about this Supergirl movie. What did you think about it, Lawrence? I know you've seen it, or if you did see it. I just hope James Gunn stays far away from Marvel. I think he might have to go back to Marvel, to be honest with you. James Gunn has a Jimmy Olsen spin-off TV show in the works. Yeah, that's right, too. Eli, but how much will that last? He said, $10 super chat. Thank you very much. He said, to see a better movie. Damn, you guys and your 6 out of 10s. I don't get it. Lauren said 6 out of 10. And I said, oh, happy birthday. Appreciate it. I'll be back on later on tonight, guys. And I appreciate the super chat, Lawrence, 100%. Thank you very much to start it off. When I get back tonight, I'm going to take a shot for that $10. I don't have anything now, but I'll take a shot when I get back because I don't want to be fucked up going out, right? But, yeah, I'll definitely have a $10 shot on that one. But, yeah, 6 out of 10. You know what's funny? After Donnie seen it, right? Because I was messaging him through, I'm like, this shit is trash, bro. Like, I literally was falling asleep in the theater during this movie. He said it was average at best. Okay. I hear a lot of people saying that, right? I think for me, as much as I liked the actors and actresses in the movie, I just can't get past the plot holes and stupid things in this movie. I can't get past them. Right? I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I can't get past the sending Supergirl to a planet with a green and yellow sun. Right? You're trying to get rid of her, but you put her on a planet with a green and yellow sun. And then like, okay, so maybe they didn't know the yellow sun affected her or gave her powers. Well, then how the fuck did you know the green sun didn't? It took away her powers or could kill her. You know what I mean? Like, if you know that, you should know this, right? And then the bad guy, during one of the fight scenes, shoots her ass with some kryptonite arrows. Now, if Lobo doesn't come into that scene, Supergirl dies. But does everybody know fucking Supergirl's weaknesses? Right? Because when she has the first fight, she gets hit on and she sees her and she's like, oh, blood, haha. Like, she laughed because it's the first time she's seen her blood. So either she's never been in a fight on the Red Planet before, right? And she hasn't really done much Supergirl stuff on Earth, because you see in the newspaper article while Superman's, saving the world reactor, it says she saves a cat from a tree, right? You see that in the article. So, how did everybody know that kryptonite affects the super family like that? Everybody knows their weakness? I don't know, man. Just when I first saw it, I was like, I don't know. It's not bad, but I don't love. I was sitting at a 7/10. After waiting a few days, I'm like, it's a 6 out of 10. I think if you watch it again, it's going to drop even further. It's going to drop even further. You know what I mean? Because I know if I watch it again, I'm already giving it like a low fucking 3 or 4 at best. And I'm giving it that because I like the characters in the movie, right? I think Kara's going to be a great team up with Superman. I think the way they can play off of each other would be great, 100%. But one of the biggest problems that I had, the kid didn't know about Superman. She kept asking Kara about him. Exactly. Said, I don't want to watch it again. I saw it Monday. That wasn't enough. I feel you. I actually did watch it on Nzo Vision again. Right? I put it on again and I said, you know what? Let me just... And I'm like, yeah, this is bad. But like I was saying, I think Kara and Superman will have a great chemistry together when we see them on screen, and I know she's supposed to be in the Man of Tomorrow. I think that would be fire. Could be really good. But other than the actors in this, I can't. There's this movie. He said, I canceled my Wednesday ticket. Oh, you were going to go see it on Wednesday too and you canceled that? I don't blame you. Because here's the thing. This movie looked like it was setting up for this major Kara arc, right? No, don't kill. No, she's bitter, right? What happened to Krypton, her planet, and all of that stuff? And she's bitter, and she witnessed. See, Clark didn't witness his planet getting destroyed. They sent him off. He was a baby. She witnessed it. Well, she was born after. Okay, so, and this is one thing that I did like about it, right? Where Krypton explodes, but her father creates a dome around a part of the planet which lifts up and, it survives for 9 years. But what happens is that the kryptonite, that's, of course, the core of the planet, starts to seep into the water supply and all of their food, and they start to get kryptonite poisoning. Kara was around to see that. So, first off, sorry, I gotta light this up for that. First off, all right, Krypton gets destroyed. You're on this piece of rock with a shield, and you decide to have fucking kids? Right? Because Kara was born 9 years after Krypton was destroyed. Or a couple years after Krypton was destroyed, right? Because it goes from destroyed, and it says 9 years later, and Kara's around. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and please, maybe I got it wrong, but it seemed like she was born after the destruction of Krypton. Why the fuck would you have kids? Right? Like, there's people in this day and age now that don't want to have kids because, one, it's too expensive, and people don't know what this world is coming to, right? So why would you want to bring a kid into a world like that? So I don't get that. But anyways, if Kara was born on a planet that was kryptonite and she wasn't sick, why does kryptonite affect her in the first place? That's another thing, too. She never got sick from the kryptonite poison, right? They need to also not have this not have her write Wonder Woman. They need to get someone with more experience. Absolutely, 100%. She was what? She was born after the planet was destroyed, or she was born before it was destroyed? Let me know if I'm correct on that. The soil was poisoning and there was limited space. Yeah, probably got immunity from her mom being sick. Okay, so then she was poisoned. She was born after the planet got destroyed, right? If I'm getting that right, I don't know. I found it weird. Why would you have a kid? You know what I mean? Why would you do that? Um, Let me just show something real quick. I want to show the trailer real quick for you guys. Damn, I can't spell. Supergirl trailer. Here we go. Because I think there's something in the trailer that I kind of remember that I want to talk about. Just give me 1 second. I'll just do it this way. I don't feel like changing my screen. All right. Just give me a second. I gotta wait for this ad to click off, and then I'll bring it up. Add a scene, full screen it here, and let's watch this trailer real quick. No, you can't hear me now. Oh shit, you guys can hear me now? Okay, my bad. Damn, I was muted for that long. Sorry. So yeah, so I was saying, um, I was saying I was reading Eli's plot. Let me go back here real quick. He said, Krypton destroyed. 8 years later, Kara was born. Exactly. So I don't understand why. I don't understand why you would have any kids, right, in a situation like that. But you did have a kid. That's fine. But I'm like, so what? In those 8 years or 9 years, you couldn't have figured a way to get everybody else off the planet? What, you guys were just planning on living your fucking lives on this little piece of rock? Right? But you had enough to send Carraway when the kryptonite poisoning started to creep in. So just let everybody else die, right? We're not gonna try and build any other ships or nothing like that. You know, I guess resources were low. I guess you could say that, but you know, then they have this plot in the movie where I think is where they really messed up, where it's like you feel like Supergirl is going to have this arc of, you know, being jaded and understanding that her planet was destroyed and that, you know, I want, you know, I don't care about anything, to being better. And then she kills the dude at the end. I don't get that. The whole message was to tell her not to kill this dude because he's going to ruin your life. It doesn't bring back the people he killed and all of that. And then Kara ends up killing him. You know? And like I said, I was talking to Danny right after the movie, and Danny, he gave me his rating first, right? And then he messaged me later. He's like, you know what? I'm going to give it a little bit of higher rating. And I think Danny wants to do that because he thinks it's better than Superman. And there's no way in fucking hell this movie is better than Superman. It's just not. Not even close, right? But I told him, I said, Danny, I'll bet you $10, right? And I'm going to show Brian when the stream comes on tonight. When we come stream tonight, I'm going to show Brian. I said, I bet you $10 Brian says this movie's okay. And sure enough, Brian said, oh, it's okay. I don't think he liked it, but he said it's okay. And I'm just like, it's not okay. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. He says she doesn't kill him in the comics. They put him in the Phantom Zone. Exactly. 100%. Better than Superman? That's a reach. That's a huge reach. That is a huge reach, right? I know a lot of people didn't like Superman, and I get that, right? But character-wise, story-wise, it's just 10 times better than this movie. It is so much better than this movie. This movie was ass. Like I said, I was falling asleep during the movie, right? For whatever reason, I had to go fucking piss a lot, right? I think I went to the bathroom like 3 times and felt like I didn't miss anything or anything. And then you do it a disservice by not having any end credit scene, right? To build up into what you have coming forward. Like no end credit scene whatsoever. I think that was a mistake as well. Superman was good, especially if you like the animated series. Yeah, Superman was good. I enjoyed Superman, Lawrence. You see, I do like some things. You know what I mean? I do like some things. Not a lot of things, but I do like some things. I thought Superman was good. You know, I liked Mr. Terrific. You know, the Lanterns were pretty good, right? But this one, and I keep saying James Gunn, and I know it's not James Gunn that did this movie, but the woman that did it, I can tell you she was like a James Gunn fan. She must love all of his movies because they tried to do everything that James Gunn has done in these movies. And, you know, I know a lot of people were talking about Lobo's bike and said Lobo's bike looked ugly and stuff like that. I didn't think it looked too bad. I thought Lobo was the best part of the movie, you know. People bolted when the movie was over, didn't wait for the credits. I waited to see if there was something, and there was nothing. Yeah, I was too. I was waiting too. But then I Googled it. I said, you know what? I don't know if I just wanted to bounce. I'm like the people that left. I was like them, Lawrence. I just wanted to bounce. I just wanted to get out of there. So I Googled it, said, was there any end credit scene in Supergirl? It said no, and I was gone. Thank you. Goodbye. See ya. And like I said, I watched it again when I got home the next day. but I'll never watch it again. I'm good. I'm good. It's very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. People want to say average. I'll give you average because of the characters in it. But for me, it's below average. It is 100% below average. I'm giving this movie like a 3.54 at the most. Um. Oh, I didn't even talk about this scene, right? So after Supergirl gets poisoned, right? And after Supergirl gets poisoned and they have that little fight scene, right? They, the Krem or whatever the guy's name is, forgive me if I'm mentioning his name wrong, said I'm kinda not getting good vibes from lanterns. You know what? I'm hearing the vibes too. And after seeing this, I'm right there with you. I don't know how good Lanterns is gonna be either, right? So I'm a little bit worried about that, right? The only thing James Gunn's really have to depend on making a lot of money is Man of Tomorrow, and he better put that movie out on a time where there is nothing coming out for weeks, so that it can make as much money as possible. Because if he's putting it up against other movies, it is going to fail. And this is the one thing that I say, and I say this is why I think Master of the Universe failed, is because that Kevin Smith one put a bad taste in fucking people's mouth. Like that Kevin Smith cartoon on Netflix was ass. It was garbage, right? And know there's some people out there that are like, oh, it was good. No, it wasn't. It wasn't good. It was trash. For the first season, you have sideline He-Man for the whole fucking season, so that was a mistake. And then you try to course correct, you bring him back in the second half, but it was still more Tila and I was just like, this is not He-Man. This is not Masters of the Universe. Oh, it's Masters of the Universe, not He-Man. He-Man is Masters of the Universe. Like, regardless of what you want to say, you can say like, oh, Masters of the Universe is the whole universe. No, He-Man is the Masters of the Universe. People want to see He-Man. So I think He-Man failed because of that. Man of Tomorrow is going to fail because of Supergirl, because of Lanterns, if Lanterns is bad, right? No one's going to care. They'll be like, why am I going to go watch this crap, right? Superman was good. Man of Steel, Creatures Commandos was pretty good, but again, as a cartoon, I'm like, this shouldn't even have been, it shouldn't even have been it shouldn't even have been there. Peacemaker Season 2 was trash. Garbage, right? So you're getting all of these garbage things coming out. Why the fuck would people want to go see Man of Tomorrow? Master of the Universe was better than this. Hands down. Hands down better than this. Like, that's not even an argument. It was way better than this. Shit, I even said Mortal fucking Kombat 2 was better than this. And y'all know I didn't like that one either. Mortal Kombat 2 was better than this movie. This, to me, Michael is still the best movie I've seen this year. There is no doubt about it. Michael is the best movie I've seen this year. Project Hail Mary was great. I haven't seen Disclosure Day yet. I know Odyssey's coming out. We got Spider-Man Brand New Day. And we have Doomsday coming out. Will it still be the number one after those movies? I don't know. But Michael was definitely the best movie I've seen. He said the original cartoon was called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And, yeah, exactly. I know, Eli. Right. He-Man. Top billing. If you're going to see a Masters of the Universe movie, you're going to see it because you want to see He-Man, not fucking Tila, not Evil Lynn, Project Hail Mary, Michael, and Obsession, and Toy Story 5 are my top 5. Oh, Lawrence. You know what? As much as I hated Supergirl, Obsession was worse than Supergirl. Obsession, I'm glad you liked it, but I thought that shit was ass. It was, I could not, see, the lead character ruins that movie for me easy. Right away, that fucking goofy ass lead character just destroyed that whole movie for me. Absolutely. Said, hey, Evil Lynn is hot. Yeah, Evil Lynn, yeah, 100%. 100%. In the Master of the Universe movie, yeah, 100%. Tila was hot too, right? But I just think those movies were a lot better than this, and I had high hopes for this, right? We were on Spoiler Kings, we talked about it, and I was saying, yeah, I was hoping it was going to be good. I really did. And then I started seeing little reviews start to trickle in, and you get to the point where I was like, oh, but I don't go with reviews, right? Because I have my own taste, right? So a lot of these reviews that people have, like, they think Thor: The Dark World is the worst Thor movie. I think Ragnarok and fucking Love and Thunder are the worst Thor movies, right? And the reason why Ragnarok is because the first half of Ragnarok I thought was fire until he gets to the planet. Once he gets to the planet, I'm like, this is garbage. Like, this is like, what are we doing here? We're making a joke out of fucking Thor and everything, and I just didn't like that, But yeah, this one, the jokes don't hit. I don't find them funny, right? So yeah, I was saying, so Supergirl, after the fight, and I'm going to get out of here real quick because I'm going to, birthday festivities, and then I'll be back later on tonight for the rest, right? So he said, Thor: Love and Thunder is the worst one. It is the worst. It is. It is the worst movie. The goats in that movie were absolutely... I despise them goats. I despise them fucking goats, bro. In Thor: Love and Thunder, oh my god, it got played out. The villain sucked and is basically a side quest. Yes, exactly. Exactly, Lawrence. The villain sucked too, right? You could have done so much better with the villain and he sucked, right? And then you're on the side quest to save. So, and I know they did it, and I get back to what I was saying earlier about that part, but I know why they did it. But again, Crypto has the same powers as Supergirl, right? So they had to put this little caveat in here where it's like, oh, you has 3 days to get the antidote to him, but if you move him, the antidote is going to accelerate. If you move him, the antidote is going to the poison is going to accelerate. What? That didn't even make no sense, right? So you put him in a fucking little trolley where you can roll it, right? Roll it to a ship, take him to a planet with a red, green, orange sun or a yellow sun, and boom, he got his powers back. Thor: Love and Thunder. Why did they make that film? Agreed. She could have flown a ship to a yellow sun. Exactly, Lawrence, right? She could have put him in a ship and flown that fucking ship to a yellow sun, right? But what? Moving him from the girl that, or the alien that told her about it to a ship would have killed him faster, I guess. I don't know. That was a dumb plot point, right? Then you have Supergirl on the planet after she gets poisoned. Krail, or whatever the bad guy's name is, he's searching for... And of course, they were black characters, right? I gotta give it fucking negative vibes for that, right? They were black characters. So the little girl sees Krail, and she's about to sneak up on Krail, right, to kill him. Supergirl comes flying in, boom, flies her away, which gives Krail the opportunity to kill the 3 black people in the fucking movie. The only 3 black people in the movie. Jason Momoa is, I guess you could say he's kind of black. He's more Hawaiian than black. But the 3 black people in the movie are dead. Because Supergirl didn't want this little girl to kill Krail, or whatever his name is, again, because I don't care what the fuck to even get his name right, to end up killing him at the end. What are we doing here? You're stopping this little girl from killing him, right? To exact her revenge for killing his family, killing her family, and then you kill him at the end. Make it make fucking sense. He said there were way too many good black people. Facts. Facts. She also wasn't wearing the suit until she was unworthy of it after killing. Exactly. 100%. He only kills the black girl and her family, but took the other girls for breeding. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? We're going back to killing off black people in the movies, the only ones? I thought we're doing James Gunn. No, not James Gunn, but you okayed it. You let this go through. All right. The plot. They're picking up little girls so that they can take them to be wives because I guess their breed is only men, whatever. It was just like you needed something for the villain to do, right? They tried to make this villain menacing, and he wasn't. He wasn't menacing at all. He was a throwaway villain. No one's gonna remember this guy in the next couple of movies, right? He's like fucking. As much as I say I think Thor: The Dark World was okay, you still had Malekith, who was a trash villain, right? So it's gonna be on those levels. Right? James Gunn did Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I think the Evolutionary in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 he was a great villain. I thought he was great. So you know how to make villains. You know how to give them something to, people to sink their teeth in. And you did nothing with this guy. Nothing. And if James Gunn didn't have his fingers all over this movie, then he fucking should have. I said, no, we got to give this guy a little bit more. Now, what I'm hearing is they cut out about 25 minutes of the movie, which would have probably made it better. Yeah, you should have kept them 25 minutes in it. But if the 25 minutes that they cut out was just exposition and talking, then no. No. And from what I'm hearing, like in the comic book, they go from planet to planet, like 9 different planets, and they're bright and vibrant, and this movie was just gray and grainy. And I guess it's to show the mood of Supergirl and stuff like that, but it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And I don't see this movie making more than $400 million in the box office. Because you got Minions coming out, and you got all these other movies coming out that are just going to knock this movie into oblivion. Toy Story 5 is still out there, and that's making bank. And that's going to continue to make bank. And because of the word of mouth for this movie not being so good, it's not going to do well. It's not going to do well. So, those are a lot of the things that I hated about this movie. Positives, again, were the actress and actresses in the movie. But other than that, nothing more. Nothing more. Even the fight scenes were way too hard to see in the theater. It was way too hard to see what was going on there. You know what I mean? So, plot devices with the kryptonite arrows and everything like that. Just too many plot devices. Sending them to a planet with the green and red sun. Plot device. Didn't like it. Had a big issue with all of that stuff. So, that was my review. I'm going to head out. I'm going to go do my thing. But I'll be back later on tonight because we are going to be doing the final episode of From, episode 10. I know Brian said there's no expanse, so I know I want to see all you guys over there coming watching us before we get on to From. We're going to have a little bit of celebration for the birthday, obviously, with the homies. But make sure to check us out for that later on tonight. Thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate y'all. Let me know in the comments, and if you watched the video or whatever, what you thought about Supergirl. Let me know what you thought about it. But other than that, he said, she was letting this happen until later in the movie, knowing what was happening to the girls the whole time. Absolutely. Yeah. Supergirl was just didn't care about nothing, right? And that's the arc that I hated. Because she went from not caring about anything to not caring about anything, right? She didn't learn nothing. She didn't really learn nothing. What? She went back to Earth and said, okay, I'm going to go back to Earth. But she didn't really learn nothing because she killed the dude. Sex trafficking wasn't in the comics, by the way. Yeah, I know it wasn't. That's something they added for this movie again, which kind of ruins the movie as well. You are correct. So, yeah, it was just dumb. I didn't like it, and I'll never watch it again. My rating for the movie is a 3.5 to 4. for this movie out of 10, just to be clear, right? Said it's weird. Yeah, it is weird. It is weird. 3.5 to 4 out of a 10 for my rating for this movie, and I don't ever plan to watch it again. But with that being said, guys, peace, love, and hair grease, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.